Hey guys, welcome to Denny's. Today we're going to jump into the most efficient way to farm augment cores. More specifically, we're going to jump into a couple builds and a couple ways to get from wave 1 all the way to wave 30 before we get into it, but I will have a build that I'm going to be using at wave 30 to farm augment cores the most efficient way that I can solo. I'll also mention some group play builds. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like if it helped you out. Subscribe if you feel that I have earned it. Comment any feedback you got from me down below. And then lastly, follow me over on Twitch. We're live every single day. I would love to see you guys over there. It's been an absolute blast. I can answer questions on the fly. It's been really fun. So yeah, hope to see you guys over there. But let's jump into the video. So the first thing I want to go into is kind of a preface. So this is going to be, we're going to go into the build that I use for wave 30, but I want to cover how to get there first. Very briefly, I'm going to go over an Ines build, and I'm also going to be going over the Gley build that I'm going to be using in 30. And I want to point out that it is going to be 10 times more efficient, or insert crazy exponential higher efficiency rate, basically to do wave 30 than to do any other wave below it. So if it takes you even 15 minutes to complete a wave 30, you're going to get so much more materials than completing a wave, say 29 in about 10 minutes or 8 minutes or even 5 minutes. You're going to get so much more materials that it actually ends up being far more worth it. So the absolute goal is to basically do the highest wave that you can, and that is why I'm going to go over and kind of basically go over what I use to get through each and every wave, and then that way to make it a little bit easier. Obviously, it is a difficult feat. If you guys are stuck at a certain level and you really can't get past it, the idea is that of progression, where you're just kind of leveling up the weapon of choice, leveling up the Descendant of choice, making sure you get cores socketed into it. I'm going to give the easiest way, in my opinion, the easiest weapons to use and the easiest builds to use to do this. So that is kind of the preface. We're going to jump into the Ines build first, and then we will follow it up with the Gley build. So first things first, let's jump into the Ines build. It's going to be one that I've put on the channel before, but I'm going to go over it really quickly so that everybody can kind of see what they're going to be building up to with Ines in order to get all the way up to where you would want to be. Now, I do want to put a disclaimer. You can get all the way up to 27 with this build if you play very cheesily and hide behind walls. It's very annoying, but you absolutely can get it done. It takes a very long time. You know, you'll definitely use up that full 15 minutes, sometimes even more, but you'll definitely be able to get it done. Now, if you want to complete the mission with 5 minutes remaining in order to, you know, progress through the levels, it is still possible. It's just very, very difficult. What I would recommend doing is basically taking this Ines build from level 1 to level 24 of Void Erosion. So what you're doing is you're getting a ton of cores. You're going all the way to level 24. You're going to have a ton of cores saved up by that point. You're going to be able to at least socket some of your stuff into the big weapon of choice for Gley, which is going to be Restored Relic. But to discuss the Gley build, or excuse me, the Ines build, obviously we're using as much crit as we can other than the emergency measures. We're using maximize range, skill expansion, focus on tech, and we're using focus on electric, increased HP, as well as nimble fingers, MP conversion, and time of the hunting hounds. You guys can screenshot this. I know I've gone over this a lot. Obviously, take this, and this is the build we're aspiring to be on Ines to get us to 24. As far as the weapon, we want a Secret Garden. I'll throw up the build on screen very briefly, but it literally does not matter what you're using. And then you've got the reactor of choice. The reactor is going to be the tech and electric reactor. I like to use critical hit damage cooldown with Ines. It literally doesn't matter what you use here as long as you have critical hit damage. You could get any combination and do just fine with these. It does help to have a good roll, but it really isn't that important. You just want to make sure you have that tech and electric to be able to get these done. And then I'm using the Slayer set. As far as the components, the reason I'm using a Slayer set is to try to just get them done as fast as I can. We're hiding behind a wall a lot on Ines. I'm sure you guys will see the background footage. So it's very, very easy to do. And Slayer set, we're not taking a lot of damage. If you guys are taking a lot of damage, you can swap it up. You can change to the Annihilation set, or you can change to like a set. Any set that gives you a ton of HP, the Invader set's a good example if you want to farm that from Deathstalker. But the Slayer set's going to get it done quicker and make it so we get that hit that 5 minute mark much quicker. So this build is going to get you all the way from level 1 to level 24. Again, you're going to have a ton of cores to use, and then we're going to put a timestamp here. We're going to jump into the Gley build. So basically, what we're going to be using for Gley is the Restored Relic, right? So this is the whole idea behind making Erosion as easy as we can right now up until the launch of episode 2. If you want to farm augment cores in preparation, this is going to be the easiest build to use. For the Gley build, we're using the kind of modified gun build, if you will. It's basically just Gley's gun build. You've got shot focus, you've got maximized duration, you've got both cooldown mods. We need to make sure we have those, all the duration we can get. Increased HP, stim accelerant. Instead of increased stim accelerant, you can use Battle of Stamina if you want a little bit more duration on your third ability. Not a huge deal to me. Mid-air maneuvering. HP collector is kind of important. If you don't like HP collector, you can run something like Walk a Tightrope if you feel like you're always going to be low. I really like HP collector because it basically means that we never die. You never have to worry about dying. You'll get through the Void Erosion very quickly, very easily, and you never really have to worry about dying. The last boss, sometimes you can worry about dying. You'll see me die a few times in the background footage using this strategy on level 30. However, this is going to be what we shoot for the Gley build. As far as reactors, guys, literally does not matter as far as the skill. The only thing we're going for is the roll. We need duration and cooldown. This is to get our third ability more uptime and more cooldown, so we have infinite ammo more and more. This is going to cover us on the Restored Relic. And then we've got the Polar Knight component set. The reason we're using the Polar Knight set will go hand in hand with our Restored Relic. So the Polar Knight set gives us a good chunk of critical hit damage, firearm critical hit damage. Whenever we inflict Frostbite, we will be inflicting Frostbite with our Restored Relic. To briefly cover the roles of the Polar Knight, it does not matter whatsoever what rules you have. I would just recommend going for max HP on the auxiliary power and defense on the memory. And then for the Restored Relic, the reason we're going to be inflicting Frostbite is because we have chill enhancement, chill priority, and we have all these different mods that are going to be applying chill. So for the Restored Relic, we're going to be using the chill enhancement rounds in the inversion tree as well. And then you're also going to be using action, reaction, rifling, reinforcement, all the crit mods, better insight, better concentration, fire rate up, increased radius, concentration priority. Those are going to be pretty important. Insight focus, notably, because we want as much crit as we can get because we're running solo and we are not running with an Enzo. To quickly go over the inversion, I talked about the chill focus rounds. The chill focus rounds are very important, but let's go over the cores and substats. Guys, this is a very important part of the video. I'm going to put another disclaimer. I have very high rolls on this weapon. You will not be able to jump into level 30 immediately. Heck, you'll barely be able to jump into 28, 29 with this weapon. It's a little bit harder because we're building it for chill. What you will be able to do is you'll be able to farm level 26 very efficiently. This is very important part of the video where I'm kind of suggesting I recommend getting the Restored Relic built like this. Add a couple cores to it. As you see, fire rate, chill, fire rate. Basically 3 fire rate cores and 2 chill cores. That's what we're going for. Make sure you go for explosive attack, firearm critical hit damage, and chill. And then make sure you go for the bonus firearm versus the Legion of Darkness. You can also go for critical hit chance if you want instead of versus Legion of Darkness. If you want to go for critical hit chance, it'll help a little bit on the other levels, 28 and 29. But the idea is that we're only going to be doing level 28 and 29 once. And then we're going to be farming 30 to get the most cores we can get, right? So that is very important to understand. So again, my recommendation is to farm level 26 over and over and over and over and over again until you guys are happy with the amount of cores you have. Keep rolling your weapon, trying to get these cores. If you want to farm level 30 solo, this is currently the easiest way to do it. Hands down, without a doubt, this is the easiest way to do it. You build Restored Relic, you build Gley, and you just go this way. You can use this all the way from level 1 to level 30. It just matters the progression of your Restored Relic. You have to be constantly re-rolling, constantly going for new cores. It is a grind, guys. However, if you want to just go right into Void Erosion and not even worry about getting to level 30, you don't want to do that whole grind, then just farm level 26 over and over and over with an Ines skill build, or you can even use this Restored Relic Gley. You're going to get like 3-minute clears. It is extremely, extremely easy. You're going to get a ton of cores. They're going to be crafted into level 10 cores. They're not going to be very, they're not going to be very efficient, but at least you're going to have that opportunity to have the giant buff. And once you build up enough over time, you'll be able to do that Erosion 30. It is semi-difficult. I just wanted to put the Gley build out there, the Ines build out there, and then I want to do an honorable mention for the Last Dagger. So the Last Dagger is currently very good. The reason that I'm doing an honorable mention for this is because this could be nerfed in the future. It currently kind of is using above 1,000 fire rate. Currently on mine, I've got 1,300 fire rate. It's definitely kind of insane. It's very broken. It's very good. I use this in the clip for the second health bar on my Gley build. You'll notice that it nukes the boss much quicker. If you guys want to also build a second weapon that's going to substantially help your farming, if you haven't seen my farming defiler video, or you haven't seen the way that this thing works, basically the last dagger absolutely destroys. If you go for electric for the cores, 2 firearm attacks, 2 fire rates of 20%, you will absolutely destroy. Now, keep in mind, again, this is a process where you're going to have to build up to this. You're not going to be able to just immediately jump in and get these. If you can get to level 30, good, that's great. And then you can start farming these with friends if you're getting carried. But if you're solo, just build up to this. Slowly keep rolling it and rolling it. If you get a 10% fire rate, 15% fire rate, that's still very good, guys. You're going to be able to do higher levels just by getting those higher rolls. And it's going to help substantially. Also, a quick little note about my last dagger in the screenshot that you will see. It's going to be built fully for Defiler, except for you want to take Overwhelm off and use the Ultra Precision Shot. You guys have probably seen my Defiler farming video with Last Dagger. It's very broken. Last Dagger is insanely good. However, I don't really feel like farming 2 of them, so I just keep it on my electric priority and electric setup, and it still absolutely destroys the last boss of Void Erosion, regardless of that chill damage. Now, keep in mind, if you did build this for chill instead of electric, it would shred even more, quite a bit, quite substantial difference, but it still shreds nonetheless, and it still does it very fast. So I'm not going to build, I don't really feel like farming 2 of them, at least right now, because I don't feel like I want to do that, but you can absolutely do that to get more damage. I wanted to throw that out there so that everybody knew. So I've got a second honorable mention. I threw up my last dagger build, by the way, on the screen there in case you guys wanted to screenshot it, but I've got another honorable mention, which is going to be my Lepic and my Enzo. Well, I don't have an Enzo, so I'm going to throw a screenshot up for Enzo. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Lepic to queue into public matches. And what that's going to do is, if you have the build that I use, you're going to be able to basically pray for a group that's very good. Now, guys, what I would highly recommend doing is do not leave after the first failure. If you leave enough times after you've failed with Lepic or Enzo, you're basically going to get a shadow ban where you're not allowed to queue in, and you're going to just queue solo the whole time. So if you guys join into a group where there's 4 Lepics, you're going to just have to play it out for a little bit. Make sure you're not the first one to leave, and then, yeah, you'll be able to leave eventually, and you can kind of get done with the wave 27, 28, 29 by being a support, and then get into 30. You can even be a support in 30. I have a Lepic build that shows that you can literally just get 30 done if you just jump in with Lepic or Enzo. I will leave the screenshots at some point for Lepic, so Lepic was probably already on. I'll show the Enzo screenshot right now so you guys can see it, and that is going to be the build that you're going to want to use with Enzo to make it as easy as you can. Obviously, you can use Smithereens, you can use any gun you want. Voltia is really good, all that stuff, but that is how we get there. So that's the whole course of how you're going to get to Wave 30. Now, to talk about what we're doing on Wave 30, it's literally just Gley. So Gley with Restored Relic and the Chill Focus build with Chill Priority, Chill Enhancement is going to basically net you the ability to solo these. Now, it does take a long time to get to this point, but once you get here, once you have the rolls, you'll see the footage in the background. Yes, it is kind of sketchy, but you can get done with 30 in right around 8 minutes on average if you have the last dagger. If you don't have the last dagger, it might take you 9 to 10 minutes. However, with this build set up and totally completed, you're able to finish level 10s completely solo, and that is going to net you level 30 of Void Erosion. That's going to net you level 10 cores, and you're going to be able to just keep farming those level 10 cores. With the recent buff, it's going to be super, super easy, and that is about as easy as it is right now. Keep in mind, this is before the launch of episode 2. There will be reworks, there will be tuning changes, it might change, but I wanted to put out a video so that everybody knows what to use until that point, until March 13th, when they do release episode 2, to make it as easy as I could, at least. But yeah, those are the builds. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have luck with your farming, and I know that a lot of people are going to want to go for those green cores, so good luck there. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to follow me over on Twitch. We are live every day. I'd love to see you guys over there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you feel like it. Like the video. And yeah, comment down below what you guys think of the method and what you guys are currently doing for the Augment cores. Yeah, love to see it. But I hope you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys on stream on Twitch, and have a good one. I'm out of here. Peace out. Goodbye.